on Chapter 50 of The Flower of Freedom, an original book by Debra J. Reeves. All rights to the book and presentation are reserved. Please settle in on your seat. It's ready. We're glad you're here. Be comfortable. You're safe. And you matter. This is Chapter 50 of Light and Love. A wagon took us to you, and you saved us. Thank you, Oscar, thank you. Please, I beg you, do not stop loving me. I will die if you stop loving me. I will. I know it. I'm sorry that I'm damaged goods, as the men at the chateau called me. You deserve better, but it wasn't my fault. And God forgive me, I would endure it all again to have Bertie in our lives. No, it is not your fault, Colette. I need you to really hear me. I love you. I will love you my whole life, every moment. I will die loving you. That will never change. I must understand this one thing, though. Could Bertie be anyone else's son but Hans Schmidt? Hans raped a little girl. He was the only one, but Bertie is not his son. Oscar, he's your son. You raised him. You love him. He's your boy. He's like you. He has your heart beating in his chest. He is our son, and he always will be. The next morning, after Bertie left for school and Colette went for groceries, Oscar called a key at his office. He reported that Jean-Claude had a friend in the RCMP from whom he was getting advice, and he needed the contact information for the gendarme on Paulette's case. Akia had taken to carrying the gendarme's card in his pocket, so he fished it out and he gave Oscar the information right away. Oscar told Akia that with Dr. D and Jean-Claude on board, he felt that they just might be able to protect Bertie. God, what a hornet's nest this is, Akia lamented. How could Paulette have pined for decades for such a monster? How could she have brought him into all of our lives? How could she have been so blind that she ran into the arms of a murderer? She was not a stupid woman. She was quite bright in some ways. Why would she prefer him over me? It sure is a hornet's nest, and perhaps, worse, maybe a viper's nest, Oscar agreed. If I had to go into battle with anyone, Akia, I think we have the good guys on our side. With Dr. D, Jean-Claude, you and me and Colette, we are a team of 5, and we have God on our side, and I know it. As to the idea that Paulette preferred him to you, just stop that. You need to consider that what he probably put her through. Anyone who is subjected to his manipulation and cruelty should not be condemned, but their thinking patterns cannot be their own. We must remember that darkness is only the absence of light and love. I used to think darkness was only the absence of light. I looked and I saw that if objects were large enough or dense enough, they could block the light and cast a long shadow. Then I realized that all anyone had to do was find a way around the obstacles with light, and the shadows disappeared. Later, though, I realized that there were places that even light did not seem to fundamentally change. In places like lonely or desperate hearts, neither light nor truth seemed to make enough change. Colette showed me that in those places, changes can be irrevocably wrought by a constant application of pure and unending, unmerited love, by grace. Oscar warmed to his topic. Paulette might have seen enough to know that the only way to survive was by taking Hans' side. Maybe in order to survive, she convinced herself that the intensity of emotion she felt was love. I don't know. I'm no expert. But I'll tell you something that's certain. If Marie loves you, and she has seen you up close and clearly for quite a while now, you must be among the best of men. That girl has laser vision in discerning good from evil. She always has. Maybe it was Anne-Marie's gift to her. Colette said that it was Anne-Marie who saved her that night at the chateau, who helped her get out. I'll tell you something that I've known from the first moment that I set eyes on that little cherub of mine. The world is a far better place with her in it. So if you're having self-doubts, forget them. We need you on top of your game right now. Right, coughed Aki, reflecting on the casual reference to Marie loving him. I'm with you, and this is not a battle I'm prepared to lose. What else can I do from here to help? No idea, said Oscar, but I'll let you know when I do. Talk to you later, Aki. I want to tell Jean-Claude the information right away. That conversation ended, and soon another began. A transatlantic team of good guys had drawn their line in the sand. They did not know that they were fighting with a larger team than they understood. The other side did not know that the battle had actually begun. In his office later that day, Aki noticed something strange in the newspapers, and he called Francois Gagnon to discuss it. Did you notice that the article in the newspaper that referred to Vincent de Monte? It said that he's under investigation for money laundering, Aki asked Francois. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy, was Francois' retort. That guy has been bent for years. Didn't you know that? I never did business with him if I could avoid it. Francois, only recently I realized that I have been sleepwalking through life for years. I didn't do much business with him because I thought he was a jerk, but I never looked any deeper than that. Too self-absorbed, I guess. I was so focused on my own navel-gazing that I should have an honorary posting to the Naval Academy. Now I'm forced to confront who was truly the jerk all these years, and I fear that he's looking back at me in my mirror. Stop it right now, Aki. I would not allow anyone else to say such things about you, and I will not listen to you saying such things about yourself. You're a fine human being. In fact, I admire you greatly. I consider you not only my mentor, but my role model. We can both agree that you have some room for improvement, but that's a sign of being alive, that you can still grow and learn. Aki was touched by Francois' words. I feel the same way about you, Francois. Now, I want to tell you about a phone call that I had from Oscar this morning. That's the end of chapter 50. I thank you for coming to the Flower of Freedom. I remain your friend, Debra Reeves.